Step one is to take this lock spring and 4 of these bolts, and we're going to attach them right here. Only thing you need to do is make sure that the rubber piece is facing inside, because this is what's going to pull back and attach to lock in the side gate. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Once you got that, tighten all your screws, and what this is, that's going to be your spring again to lock in, and it rests right there. Just repeat on the other side. All right, for step 2, we are going to flip this thing upside down. And we're going to be installing the bar back here, so let's knock that out. For this step, we're going to be using this. And both of these. And all of these. And these. Let's knock that out. To start off with, a little tip. Remember, this thing is facing upside down now. We're going to have our bolts facing up, and the washers, the lock washer, and the nut will go on top of that. So it's going to look like this. All right, so I found the easiest way to do this. Turn this up on its side. Again, you're coming in from the top of the carrier. Tip I always say is always just hand tighten your bolts until everything's in place, then go back and tighten everything down. You really want to make sure you've got some play in there so everything lines up, just makes things a little easier for you. Once those are hand tightened, we're going to put the braces on. And here's a prime example of why you don't tighten your bolts down up front. I forgot I've got to put the brace on before I put the nut and the washer on the back here. Otherwise it's not going to work. But luckily, since I hadn't tightened them, I can just unscrew them with my hand, place the brace on, then put the lock washer, and nut back on. Hand tighten. There we go. Come around this side, I'll show you what I'm doing. Now that you're back here, you can kind of see what I was talking about. You've got to put this on before you put the nut and the washers on. But again, since we just hand tighten, not a big deal. Just save yourself some time and do it right the first time. Hand tighten. Then you've got the 4 here. You saw this one from that side. The next step, just take this piece here, slide it over. We're going to put it on the one that's the farthest up here. And using the last bolt that's left. Again, really simple install. But you can see how it's going to operate. You're going to have the pin. It's going to go through when you're using it, and then when you want to store it up, we'll just remove that, go down, and the pin goes in like that. Pretty sweet. Once it's on, we're just going to kind of reverse the steps of what we did to close it. Open that. You get to see how easy this is. That's it. They came up with this clever design to add this license plate holder. So we're going to just place it here, install this, and then we're pretty much done with the installation. So let's knock that out. All right, so for this installation, they say to keep the spring to the left. So we're going to put it up here. They also, on the instructions, it shows the bolts going in this way, but it's just because it would have been too hard to kind of do the diagram to show it coming from the back. But they recommend coming from the back. That way, nothing is poking out that's going to damage any of the things that you have inside the basket. So that's what I'm going to do here. And tighten. Notice how this is flat now. It's pretty close to it. And on the other side, it's sticking out. So if you would have put this in that way, this could have been damaging some things inside the basket. Or if you're putting in, well, it wouldn't have really, it's pretty flush here. But if you would have had those coming out, if you were setting in some storage boxes, it may prevent it from sitting nicely. Okay, all that's left to do now is to install the license plate bracket. Doesn't matter which way it goes. The only thing that does matter is make sure that you're using the shorter screws. There's only 4 left. Make sure you're using the shorter screws that have the screwdriver heads on them on the bottom. Then you're just going to tighten those up. Now, another cool thing that's so smart about this design is if the carrier was folded up, what's so cool about this is it's on a spring. So if you push it in, you'll be able to turn it into where now this thing is folded up, the license plate will be facing forward. So you're not blocking the license plate again. That's really smart. Last thing to do, make sure you put these stickers on both plates. I'm a stickler for directions. It's the prior military in me, prior Air Force. On there, they show that the white is on the left side. So we're gonna put it like this and like this. Now, one thing with these carriers is sometimes they can move around a good bit because there's some play right here in the hitch. Well, what's great about Mockins is they include this hitch stabilizer with the kit that we can put on there and really help stabilize, what's in the word, the carrier. So we'll go ahead and put that on and we'll keep going. Would you look at that? Just look at it. No, but seriously, that thing is really cool because now I'm shaking this just as hard and you notice it's not moving at all. That hitch stabilizer really makes a big difference. Check this out, this is pretty cool. Easy to do. All we're going to do is undo these springs. It's got a little latch. There's also 2 little springs on the back that holds those doors in. Fold down. We'll place a Care Bear on there. Locked and loaded. Now, here's the cool thing. Remember, told you about this. Tilt that down, flip this up, put the pin in, and there you go.